Hello, and welcome to that horror movie hangout show. Nearly got tongue tied there. Tonight we're going to be discussing a few horror films because it's spooky season, obviously, and I'm joined by some guests. First up, we've got James T. Keegan.
Pudding.
It's for you, James.
Next week, one more week. I'm gonna do that to him. Pudding.
I dare you, Pete, take pictures.
That'd be for the photo op. Yeah.
Also, I'm a big Supernatural fan, so I appreciate that clip.
Yeah, there you go.
Who is
how
he?
you doing, James?
Who is he? I've never seen him before.
Funny.
You might meet him.
Winchester.
No, you're not gonna. Peter's not even gonna see him. He'd be behind
Right.
closed doors. Yeah. You can see the photo I get with him afterwards.
Is that how you doing, James? All right.
I'm very well, man. I love talking spooky shit. So like this will be a
Good.
this will be a fun time.
Good. 'Cause you nearly ended up with this one, by the way.
That's an in joke for
Yeah,
anyone
that is an in joke.
doesn't-
James was like sniffing witches. The
Yeah.
stink.
I had nightmares of that as a kid.
Then, of course, we've got Triple J Comics. How you doing, Pete? Thanks for
Very
coming
well,
on,
mate.
mate.
Very well. I'm excited for this. This should be interesting.
Good, good. And we've got Austin. How you doing, Austin?
Hey, I'm good, guys. I am good. I'm ready to talk some scary movies with you guys. And like you said, GP, tis the season. It is spooky.
It is the season. Yeah.
So,
So this show come about because me and Austin got talking one time after one of Pete's shows, and I said I'll do a horror show one time, and Austin's been top of the list since then.
yeah.
Before we get started, I'm just going to jump into the comments. Of course, we've got good old StreamYard.
Quack quack.
Quack, quack. Fuzzy Dunlop. Will this be the horror show? It is, mate. And we've got Sean. How are you doing, Sean? Thanks for coming, mate. And then... until he
Don't you
cancels
dare,
it.
Fuzzy. I had someone cancel. I was supposed to meet Rose McGowan next month, and she's cancelled. So I bought
do you?
pass for no reason. Yeah. So
Excuse
don't
me.
even dare say something that bad. Like terrible.
Yeah, so this is that horror movie show. And I decided to call it Bloody Beginnings because I want to talk about how we all got into horror. What's our favourite movies? And then we'll go into recommendations for Halloween watch. Pete, you first, mate. And you decided Critters.
Jesus.
This is what got you into horror movies.
Look at those haircuts. Yeah,
know.
so I remember so back in the day, because I'm very old. I'm older than probably all of you people put together. My dad used to bring home a load of videos on Betamax, which was pre-VHS. And because he got them, I think, dodgy, I think they were kind of, pirate copies and things like that, it was total luck of the draw. So I was probably far too young for half of the movies that were just kind of put on and watched.
Yeah.
And this one sticks in my mind. So I'm a big sci-fi fan. My dad heard it was sci-fi, so got this thinking of that. But it's pretty, from memory, it's pretty graphic. Years and years since I've seen it. It's basically about alien invaders that, they're like gremlins that turn into little balls and run around, and they shoot the quills, the spikes off. And then you get these two superb kind of characters with huge cannons coming to save the day and rescue everybody. The bounty hunters with tremendous haircuts. And it was a good, fun movie. So this is probably the first one I remember watching and it not being so scary that it turned us away from horror. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was kind of entry-level horror, I guess you would say, which led on to us looking for more movies, which did scare the shit out of us. But yeah, and I just love it. I'm saying I love it. This is much like a lot of the stuff I talk about. Yeah. It's nostalgia-fueled. So I dare say if I was to go back and re-watch this, it'll be a pile of cack. Cack, Austin, that's a UK word for shit. But yeah, I dare say if I was to go back and re-watch it, might not be as good as it is in my memory.
Yeah. I remember this when I was a kid. We used to actually have a fella come around the neighbourhood with a car that you could rent videos from. Yeah. So seeing the Critters box, I think you used to get like 4 videotapes for £1 or something. And Critters was always one we used to pick up. Fuzzy's just saying there, brilliant 80s sketch. Probably one of the first scary movies I saw as a kid. Like a lot of people, Fuzzy. You mentioned the bounty hunters there. I remember them. I especially remember them in the second one. They were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I don't know if I remember seeing the second one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's been a long time since I've seen Critters.
Yeah.
A very long time.
Yeah.
James, you've seen Critters?
I haven't. No, I've heard about it, but it's one I have to throw on the list now.
Yeah,
I've never
there was
seen it.
a big boom in the 80s for after Gremlins.
Yeah,
the
that's
little
what I was
monster
thinking.
movies, and
It's
you had
very similar, isn't
the Ghoulies.
Yeah,
And,
Ghoulies. That's
yeah.
a good one. Yeah.
That is a good one. Abbott and Costello, Pete, made Frankenstein.
Yeah. So do you count this as horror? I remember watching this with my grandparents. This is an honourable mention, I guess I would say. And it was the whole host of Abbott and Costello movies.
Yeah.
James, I don't know, do you even know who Abbott and Costello were?
Yes, I'm.
You remember
I'm
them, yeah?
A cultural person.
Yeah. So they did a whole host of movies. They did Frankenstein, Meet the Werewolf, Invisible Man, I think. And again, entry-level horror, funny, just a good jaunt, really, with some decent special effects from back in the day and stuff like that. Good interpretations of Wolfman and stuff like that. So yeah, I love those.
Yeah, I mean, say me and Claire put this on every now and again, just for a giggle. You know, it's just one of them films that you can go back to and watch over and over again.
And they did get the Universal, like Bela Lugosi reprised.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi,
Boris Karloff and all came back for their roles.
Lon Chaney,
which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Was he saying there? Tremors was another. Yeah, that was a brilliant film.
Classic creature feature.
Yeah, definitry.
It's Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah. James, Scream.
Yeah, this in terms of hardcore horror, this is kind of the earliest one I remember watching. Like I remember being down in kind of our holiday home, and there's always felt like there was always a Scream movie on the television, and me and my dad would just my mom would go to bed and my dad would stick it on and we kind of watch it together. And yeah, I've always loved it. I think the fright of it was dampened by Scary Movie, so I didn't find it as scary because I'd seen the kind of parody of it. I remember possibly seeing Scary Movie first. But I love it. I think Scream is one of the best horror movies ever made. It's a celebration of horror movies, so it's an interesting place to start. But I've always loved the ghost face design and the throughout the whole series, kind of little touches that they have, like seeing Ghostface in the background kind of moving around the house and all those things. I think they're just so exciting. And I've seen this I went to see this in the cinema last year. And just the atmosphere in it, it made me kind of reevaluate which was my favorite in the series. I think the first one really is the best one. It's just one of the most perfect horror movies ever made.
I remember being pretty shocked at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd moved away from horror or not. I can't remember, but I remember being pretty shocked at the time at how graphic this was for a mainstream horror, in terms of when the killer at the start, they open a stomach, don't they? And you see her entrails coming out when she's tied to the tree, I think. I just remember it being quite, this is a bit more graphic than I was perhaps expecting.
I think it's not as gory as, say, the Friday the 13th movies kind of in the 80s, but it's I don't know, it feels more real, I guess.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, James, because there was quite a bit of a lull in horror movies in that time in the 90s, and there wasn't very many good ones coming out. And then when Scream came out, I remember seeing this for the first time, and it was just visual. It was absolutely brilliant. The effects they did on it, and it did feel real. And it was a brilliant whodunit as well. I remember watching that, and I was thinking, could that be the killer? Could that be the killer?
And I love how
didn't have no clue.
It's the person that's so obvious that you don't think it's going to be them, and it turns out to be. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, Austin.
So, Scream's a big part of my horror catalog that I absolutely love. I have Ghostface tattooed on my bicep. It also has one of the coolest openings. Of a lot of horror movies. We get this A-list actress who, you assume is going to be our leading lady.
Yeah, you think she's going to be the final girl. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then the whole phone call at the time, what's your favorite scary movie? That's a classic, iconic line that's probably going to go down in history that everybody will forever repeat. And then, we get the entire essence of the movie in just that first 10 minutes, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will say, James is absolutely right. Scary Movie has made this rather difficult to watch and not correlate the two movies.
What's up?
Yeah. But what you guys think about Scream 6?
Scream 6, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I think the newer ones have been excellent, and I think it has some really clever twists on the kind of formula of the series. The opening was genius, I thought. And just like little things like Ghostface with a shotgun. It's just such a it shouldn't be scary, but it is.
James, like, that entire scene was brilliant. Like I wasn't expecting it, because it's kind of out in the public in a gas station, and then he just goes in. Shotgun looked awesome. I love the mask in it too, that weathered look, which I'm a sucker for. Awesome. I think this is the most brutal Ghostface in the franchise. It made it a lot of fun.
I thought, I thoroughly. I think James, was that the one me and you were at the cinema at the same time watching double features?
Yes. Yeah.
And I think we're messaging each other, and it was just absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed the last two more than I expected, to be honest. I think if I'm honest, going forward, do away with the original cast for me. I'm not interested in seeing any more Courtney Cox. You can leave her behind. Give us the new cast because I really like them, but leave the legacy characters for me now.
But there's only Courtney Cox left, really, isn't there?
Well, Sydney, Nev Campbell's had like a kind of, they wouldn't pay her enough, basically, so she could come back, but there's no need for it. I think. I don't even think Courtney Cox should have been in 6. I think it would have been better without her.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that. I think it's time to kind of leave the legacy characters behind. I think it's neat that you liked both 5 and 6. I liked 5. It didn't do much for me, though. But the difference between 5 and 6 is massive for me. I thought 5 was okay. I really liked 6, though.
It's interesting. It's interesting, Austin, because, and again, I think we talked about this at the time, James. I wasn't a massive fan of 5. And I think I upset James when we were talking about it a while ago.
That's okay.
But then when we did the double feature, I don't know, it hit better for us. It felt more cohesive. So I enjoyed it more second time round, really.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, there's so many movies that my second watch, for sure, changes my opinion sometimes. I can like it so much more, or I can be like, you know what? I didn't like it as much as I did that first time.
Yeah.
For me, 5 is after the first one. I think it's the best one since the first one. Part of that might be because I was so excited to see it in the cinema. It had been 10 plus years since the last one, so that's one of the reasons. But I think it was a really, its take on horror movies, like the whole elevated horror thing, I thought was really clever, and the toxic fandom kind of element was great. So I love that. But like 6 is phenomenal, I think, as well.
I would say with Scream, where can they really take the franchise now?
Yeah, it's interesting, like, because the last one sort of, if the whole rules thing, it's like, we're in a franchise now. It's like, well, you've been a franchise and you're just kind of parroting several rules that you've kind of had in place already. So like, they've already done like franchises that go on too long and franchises that have kind of, reboots and remakes, and horror is kind of having them come out so close together. Horror's in the same place still, whereas like in 2011 when 4 came out, it was like remakes was the big thing, then like requels, and then you have the sequel to that franchises. I don't know what the next thing
I mean, I think at this point it's a great question, JP, because at this point the whole linking it to the original is just starting to get a bit farcical. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I was the auntie of the brother of your postman, so I'm going to kill everybody. All right, fair enough. It doesn't make any sense anymore. So I mean, for me, just not a reboot, but just move it on. It's different people now, different characters who like the ghost face mask, so are continuing that legacy using that costume.
I think if you're going to follow franchises as a whole, the next logical step would be Scream in space.
That's what Fuzzy's saying,
yeah. I mean, it's Ghostface in New York, Ghostface on a spaceship.
Well, he's been in New York, so just catch up on the chat here. Fuzzy's saying he's probably only seen 5 horror films in his life. Critters and Scream, and two of them had a few Scream posters on his wall as a teenager. Yeah, I thought that as well, Pete. He said, what's he saying here? Scream is my level of horror. Any more gore, any more horror, and I lose interest. Give Wes Craven, who said,
Well, he'd only just done New Nightmare, which was critically beloved. Like, didn't do amazing at the box office, but that sort of, a lot of the kind of meta stuff from that was what sort of led into Scream.
Yeah.
I loved Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That
Phenomenal.
made it genuinely like scary again after those latter half sequels, which I still enjoy, but it was nice and refreshing to have something actually serious and scary at the same time.
Yeah. I like this one of Fuzzy. Scream Multiverse of Madness. Scream Begins. Right, James. Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island.
Well, just prior, this is, you had said like origin of my love for horror, and I think it stems back to, and I would believe that most people who like horror now as an adult liked Scooby-Doo when they were a kid. Like, it's horror for kids. I remember, I must have been like 3, 4 maybe, and me and my sister rented the Swan Princess or something like that, and a trailer for this came on at the start, the video on the VHS, and I was like, what is this? This looks amazing. And I rented we brought back Swan Princess the next day, and I rented this, and I just became obsessed with Scooby-Doo, and I love the spookiness of it. I had my room painted like the Mystery Machine and everything, like I just absolutely obsessed. But I think this movie, even now, it's not even a nostalgia thing. Like, I think this is still a great movie now, and was a really clever twist on the Scooby-Doo kind of lore at that time, and kind of rose to like gave that series a resurgence, and I think it's still kind of strong now.
To be fair, Zombie Island is a good flick.
It is
fantastic.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
It's a great flick. This one and the one with the Hex Girls.
Yeah, it's Witch's Ghost.
Yeah, that one's fun as hell too.
This sort of led to like a 4-movie kind of run. Where it was this, Witch's Ghost, Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase, and they are all done by the same studio. Came out a year or 2 after each other, and like they're just widely beloved by
Pretty sure I've dated that one in the middle as well, mate.
Already,
yeah. It's Newcastle. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
It reminds me of that. What was that film? Sleepwalkers. They had cat people in that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that one? I think it was based on a Stephen King.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
I know.
Just a quick hello to Dave Clex. Thanks for joining, mate. And was he just saying he's bought Scooby Apocalypse on James' recommendation?
Comic. Yeah, I definitely
still haven't read that one either.
I've read a few issues of that. It's good.
Yeah. Next up, Austin. You got your pick that got you into horror.
Yeah. So I had some movies like that Scooby-Doo, Child's Play, and whatnot that I watched when I was really young, but like this was that standout movie for me that like scared me as a kid. Like, this is what really got me into this, because I feel like we all kind of watched some of those like entry-level horror movies as a kid.
Yeah.
That's when you start trying to figure out, like, is this for me? Is this not? Do I want to go more down this rabbit hole or not? Once I watched this, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm scared, but like I am in. So 1984, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is it for me. Freddy had such a unique look at that time versus some of the other like scary movies that I saw, and he just kind of stuck with me. And the entire premise of like being killed in your dreams or like being chased in your dreams was scary as a kid, because like no matter what, I gotta go to bed. No matter what, I gotta go to bed by myself. So I'm kind of stuck, and it was just unique. First one was scary, a bit not campy like the latter sequel in it, but man, I was obsessed with this entire franchise, and I'm still obsessed with the entire franchise. I got Freddy and Jason tattooed on my chest because they're two big franchises that I absolutely love. Dream Warriors may be my favorite in the franchise.
Franco choice,
Yeah.
Maybe tonight you'll be gone.
Yes. I mean,
Dream Warriors.
For one, the soundtrack's fun, but then also like the kills were so unique. I loved all the characters in it, and I feel like for me that's the best combination of like a very serious Freddy and a very like humorous Freddy. We got some awesome one-liners like welcome to primetime, bitch.
His best line, 100%.
Yeah, and it was just awesome. And then I even enjoy like 4, 5, and 6 for what they are. They definitely start. Each movie progressively gets more and more humorous,
silly,
which you just kind of have to accept. That's the tone of the movies. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, mates. Like this is that franchise for me, and I'm really excited. I really want there to be a a new remake here soon. Because even the 2010 one is controversial. I don't necessarily love it, but that opening of that movie,
I thought it was good.
Had some great ideas, and I think Jackie Earle Haley was fantastic.
Yeah, superb.
It really was. Yeah, I mean, I've got my problems. I've absolutely got my problems with that film, but you can't knock the acting.
It has so many great things. For one, the opening I think is the best opening in the entire franchise. It was absolutely scary. Jackie Earle Haley, despite criticism, crushed it. Like he did extremely well. You know, the only thing was like, sure, the CGI on the face wasn't that fantastic, and some people had a problem with that storyline. I didn't necessarily love like that main actress. I forget her name. I don't know.
Naomi Rapace, isn't it from?
Yeah,
Girl with Dragon Tattoo.
She didn't do much.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
But you know the micro naps. That was
amazing idea, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was
flashing
cool
back and forth. Yeah.
That entire scene. That I kind of want to like elevate the ranking of that movie just because of those micro nap scenes. You know.
Yeah.
I love the whole like the sliding is like, he does this kind of weird thing with his hands where he's like rubbing the two blades together really fast. His mannerisms there were really cool.
Yeah, I was going to quickly jump in the chat, fellas. Dave Clegg saying Freddy, yes. We are joined by the good doctor, Dr. Van Hoot. Dave saying Edward Scissorhands totally ripped off Freddy. The doc saying first one a masterpiece, two is really underrated. I think it is as well, mate. To be fair, Fuzzy is Freddy's got fingered kind of guy. Just to make a new one with England.
It's mad they've not. I suppose because 3, like the logical thing to do would be to do the requel thing where you just go back to the first one. But I think like Wes Craven was so heavily involved in the third that you kind of have to, if you go from there, you have to take it off from there. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see him back again, like one last movie before moving on to a new actor in the role. You know. But either way, I would just like to see a new movie. Like I just think there's more.
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah.
So like, get it.
I'm just a content whore, so you know, I just want them to pump them out,
man. Doc saying Jackie is really good in the remake.
Yes.
Dave Clegg saying best homage to Freddy has to be Scary Terry from Rick and Morty. Absolutely. Also, you can run but you can't hide, bitch. The doc saying CGI is just awful compared to
recreating some of the stuff in
that
CGI.
wall scene.
Like, the wall. Why are you
that
doing
was
that?
horrible.
Like, it just didn't look. Didn't look good at all.
You know, it's funny because I was explaining to Rachel because like my girlfriend she rewatched the '84 one with me a few weeks back, and kind of going into it, I'm like, hey, look, this was made in 1983, came out in 1984, right? There's some things you just kind of have to accept, like with this being 40 years old, right? You can't expect it to be like this perfect quality film.
Yeah, that blow up doll at the end is a bit obvious, isn't it?
Oh god,
like
yeah.
It's but like the window.
The crazy thing is, like with this coming out in '84 and the remake coming out in 2010, that wall scene where Freddy's like kind of pushing out against the wall.
Yeah.
In '84, it looks awesome. Like I just rewatched it and I still think it holds up. Versus like the 2010 one, and when I watched, I'm like, man, this is trash. That does not look good at all.
I say, going back to the movies, the effects, the practical effects are absolutely brilliant. Even when Tina's getting dragged around the room, that is still seamless today. That it's really brilliant.
Yeah, I think the most vicious kill in the franchise is in the third one, the marionette one, where he's that's like one of the hardest things to watch in any movie. I think like.
It's rough.
Hey, where we at here? Now we're on to my pick, Hammer Horror. This is what got me into horror. Nothing really was out of bounds when I was a kid, and Hammer Horror certainly wasn't. We say I think you'll be able to remember Pete used to get them on a Friday night.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was either this or a Vincent Price film. But two always stuck in my mind as my favourites, and that was Curse of Werewolf. Got Oliver Reed there, and Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which was basically a kung fu movie. I would say the special effects in Curse of the Werewolf when he transforms is absolutely brilliant. It's a slow burn of a movie. You do have to get through a load of crap before the final act. But Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, that's just great all the way through. Just jumping in here. Doc saying, "Oh, I love Hammer." Saw Dracula at the cinema once. Magical. And Dave saying, "Saw the bunch of." Oh, I think he's on about Scotty Young. Austin, have you seen much Hammer?
No, I'm sitting here looking at these. I've never seen them.
Classics.
Yeah, really good classics. Yeah. James,
I've seen a Christopher Lee Dracula movie. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah.
Horror of Dracula, is that what those ones are called?
that was the original. Yeah,
I think I've seen that.
was the
I've
first
seen
one.
that one. Yeah, so I love Peter Cushing. Is one of my favorite actors. So like, yeah, I love seeing him as Van Helsing, and yeah, Christopher Lee. I think Christopher Lee is probably, might be controversial, the best Dracula there's been. You know, like Bela Lugosi's obviously so iconic, but like he's just phenomenal in that role. Really owns it. Like, so yeah, they're great fun. I have to check out more of them. Like, I've only seen Dracula and maybe one of the other ones.
You think he's better than Nicolas Cage in Renfield, James?
No.
Nicolas Cage was fantastic.
It was amazing.
How dare you?
I still haven't seen Renfield yet.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's great.
Amazing.
Let's
Look, I
face
was
it, Nick Cage is
surprised
brilliant,
with how
though.
much fun I had with that movie.
But Nicolas Cage is brilliant in anything he does, pretty much. I mean, he has some interesting choices, but he was superb in that. Absolutely superb.
Dr. Bonhoef's just saying there, Hammer is wonderful, vivid colours, and wonderfully gothic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think now we're going into favourite films. So, Pete, Fright Night.
No spoilers now because I've not seen this and we're watching.
You've
it.
not watched Fright? Have you not?
I've never seen it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Looking at it, I'm going to love it.
I mean, I can quote the movie for you, James, if you want. It's
James,
just
it's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Even the remake, I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
I've seen the remake, but like
the
ages
remake's
ago, so I don't
very
remember
cool
much
as
from
well.
it, like-
Yeah.
I saw the remake first, and then I went back
Yeah.
and watched the original Fright Night, and I was like, man, this is brilliant within itself. Like,
Yeah.
and that doesn't happen to me too often, where I'll watch a remake like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, and then like going back and watching the original, it doesn't quite hit as harder. Like Hills Have Eyes, then watch the original. It's never really done it for me. This, I was like, man, this is great.
Yeah. So this is one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it gets the horror right and it gets the humor right as well.
Absolutely.
Roddy McDowall's character is just amazing in it. You've seen the remake, James. The kind of the sex him up for the remake. In this one, he's basically playing a Hammer horror kind of thespian, has-been kind of
This
thing.
is Chris Sarandon's character, is it?
Yeah. No.
Roddy McDowall.
In the remake, it's David Tennant, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, David Tennant.
Oh, okay, Chris Sarandon's Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
In the, okay.
So he basically plays this washed up kind of actor, and he gets hired to go and dispel this vampire, and he thinks it's just a load of shit. He thinks it's just a piss take, and it just sends it up superbly, you know. It's just a real fun film. There's some great scenes in it. There's some good special effects in it. The acting, I think, is top class. We're meeting the I forget his name, the guy who plays the main vampire in it.
I can't remember his name.
What's he called? Sorry.
Chris Sarandon is that?
Yeah, Chris Sarandon. Yeah, we're meeting him at Love of Horror in a couple of months.
Really?
Time, so looking forward to that. Last year when we were at Love of Horror, they did some interviews. The cast were there, so they did some interviews and stuff. But the best bit of the entire thing was they got this young lady on stage and she sang the theme tune to it. And it was just, it was just superb. Honestly, absolutely superb. I love it. Yeah, it's just great, and I think it's a while since I've watched it, but I think it still stands up now. Yeah,
it absolutely does stand up, mate. This is another one me and Claire just put on whenever we want something to watch. It's always been one of our favourites. So she watched it when she was younger. I watched it when I was younger. Definitely a classic. And after we watched the original, we went and watched the remakes, and they were decent.
How's the second movie? There's a second.
Not
there's a sequel.
second movie's not good.
No.
Yeah, second movie's not as good.
Is the second one when they're like in London or something, or he's like on a trip with school?
No, I think you might be right. I think he's at university or something. But it's basically it's the main vampire's sister or something like that.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Okay.
It's not as good.
They're talking
Fuzzy's,
about doing a requel to it. So like I think that'd be cool to see.
Yeah. Fuzzy's asking if it's a comedy. It's not a comedy, Fuzzy, but it's got some funny stuff in it, I think.
Yeah, it's got a lot of humour.
Yeah.
It's a little campy, but for sure more horror than anything.
Yeah.
I think they just nailed the character development in this movie so well, and I think that's kind of what we lack in some of the newer movie nowadays, where we don't get to know a whole lot about the actual characters that we're following, and there's not a whole lot of care for them. But you care for these characters, and you're watching right now. You actually care for them, and so I think that's some of the best things about some of these older flicks.
I mean, the bit where Peter Vincent shows him the cross, that picture there, the reaction to the vampire is just superb, absolutely superb. I love it.
Even the vampire effects in it.
Oh yeah,
as you can see in the bottom of the screen there, they were absolutely brilliantly done for the time.
For the time,
yeah, definitely. Dr. Von Houten, the dance scene in Fright Night is still one of his favourite scenes.
Amazing.
Yeah, David Kleck's scene, yeah, classic. Yeah, he's answered Fuzzy's question there. And Dr. Von Houten, it really does stand up very well. Top 3 vampire films of all time. The good doctor. Yeah. And we'll go to the next one. And so this was a double whammy because I've got all the senders that you pick privately. Both James and Austin picked Halloween 78.
Austin, I mean,
my man,
it's the best horror movie ever made. Like it is as close to perfect a movie can really be.
You know what's funny? When I watched this as a kid, James, it's not that I didn't like it. I did like it, but it just didn't appeal to me much as a kid. Because I felt like Nightmare on Elm Street, it had more standout kind of moments, and Freddy was more of an iconic character with a very unique design. Mm-hmm. Jason had another unique design with a hockey mask and these brilliant kills. So I didn't appreciate this much as a kid versus when I came back to it as an adult. Like Rob Zombie's Halloween, which I actually really, really enjoy. The first one I think is awesome, and I know I'm in the minority of that, but it made me go back and rewatch like the 78, and then the rest of the movies as well. And I watched them like, man, this is bloody brilliant. Like this is awesome. Like this is good. Like this is horror, So ever since then, I've really had a very fun appreciation for this movie.
Yeah, I think if you're a horror fan, you are going to put this in at least your top 5 horror movies.
I remember the first time I'd seen this, so I think I had seen H2O like back when I had seen Scream when I'd like watched it with my dad, and Resurrection I think around that time as well. So I'd seen those, and I remember it was Halloween. My friend was over, and we were in the video store and we were saying, oh, what will we rent today? And then I saw Halloween and I was like, I've never seen the original. And he goes, I haven't either. So we rented it, watched it middle of the day with the curtains closed, but it was still like bright in the room. And I was like, I'd always thought movies pre like 2000 just can't be scary. Older movies. I just didn't have an appreciation for older movies at that time. And I just never found them any more than 10 years, 20 years old at that point. Scary.
Right.
And this scared the shit out of me. I just love everything about it. The John Carpenter is just...
Oh, absolutely. You there, James?
James,
coming back. I'll just quickly jump in the chat there because we've got a few people coming. Hello, Collector Joey. Thanks for joining, mate.
That's my buddy. That's who I met in Texas.
Nice.
There you go. Sorry.
Sorry, mate. I'll just go through the chat quickly, mate. Dr. Von Houten, it's hard to argue Halloween is one of the greatest film periods ever made. Who else got it here? Got Spine Ticks. How we doing, Sif? Where was I at? Oh, there, Fuzzy saying I've seen the one with Buster Rhymes.
That's Resurrection. Yeah. He does come through. Yeah. But like just everything, like every shot is iconic. The score is just incredible. Like it's just so tense. I love the kind of Where's Wally of it, where like he's in the background sometimes, and the movie doesn't really acknowledge that. I love shit like that in horror movies. Is incredible. I just think Michael Myers is one of the most terrifying things, and he's only supposed to be like a 19-year-old guy at this stage as well.
Yeah,
it's just,
there's something for me about the fact that around this time, I can't remember the dates and stuff, but horror movies had gone very supernatural, and you had werewolves and you had aliens and you had all that kind of stuff. There's something just intrinsically scary about a nutter with a knife. Do you know what I mean? In this film, he's not really supernatural. Yes, he gets up and stuff like that. But it's just, this, for me, it's always more scary if you think, do you know what? This could happen. This could be, you know, some nutter next door comes at us with a carving knife kind of thing. And I think, you know, and also the mask is just phenomenal. The pale, the white, the hollowed out eyes and everything.
The Shatner.
Yeah, well, it's Shatner, isn't it? It's Bill Shatner, yeah. It's just absolutely... And the music, the score for this is just terrific. Yeah, it's top 5 for me. It's superb.
Pete, I mean, you kind of nailed it for me, and that's why I appreciate it so much more as an adult versus when I did as a kid. And I don't mean this as an insult. It's a pretty simplistic movie. Like, we don't get a background or anything. We just know there's a kid who ended up killing his sister, and, like, we don't get this background on anything, and it looks like he comes from a nice neighborhood with a nice family with a nice house. It doesn't really explain much of like where that snap comes from, right?
Yeah.
And it's not over egregious on anything, you know. They don't overdo it on blood. They don't overdo it on profanity or the sex scenes or any of that. You know, there are components of that in this movie, but they don't rely on it like some other franchises or some other movies, you know. And pacing for me is fantastic. The score is awesome. Everything about this, I think, is top tier.
I mean, it's 1978 and it opens with a 2-minute one take. Yeah, you know, which is the POV going through the house, which is incredible. I love Donald Pleasance in this movie. I think because he's not really a heroic character. He's also a lunatic. Like there's that bit where he's like teasing Lonnie, they're gonna get you.
Move your fat ass,
Lonnie.
Get your ass away from there. You know, it's just. I just love the style of it, and like one of my other outside of this movie, my favorite sequence in the entire franchise is in Halloween Kills, that opening shot.
Yes.
I me and Peter were talking about this on our show last Friday, that I just love it for when they bring Halloween back to just do a Michael Myers in the 70s thing and don't even acknowledge what continuity whatever. Yeah. Just do a set like no Laurie, just Michael killing people in the 70s. I think I'd absolutely that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Hey, so what do you guys think about the 2018 Kills and Ends? What do you think about that particular trilogy? Because I think 2018 is brilliant. It's funny, when I first watched the 2018 one in theater, I was actually a bit let down, but I think it's like my own expectations kind of going into it.
Yeah.
But just like Pete mentioned earlier, like my rewatch at home, I watched, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like this is everything I wanted, actually.
Yeah, I love them. I think the last one dropped the ball a little bit. Again, we were talking about this a little while ago, but I think the last one fumbled it for me a little bit. But the first two, I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought there was some really inventive kills in it.
You know, it's funny for Ends. Yeah, Halloween Ends didn't necessarily do it for me, but I'm kind of under the opinion if that was like an isolated one-off movie, I would like it quite a bit more than the ending to this particular storyline.
Yeah.
Because that didn't do it for me. But if this would have been like a one-off movie, that'd be fun as hell. Like I would have fully accepted it, and I'd probably like it quite a bit more.
I think, and again, me and James have talked about this, I think they should have committed, and I get the name wrong, the other killer in it, the young lad.
Corey.
They should have committed to him and having his own franchise or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if they wanted to kill Michael off. But to kill him at the end felt like a waste.
I think I love the three of them. Like I think Halloween 2018 is the best since the first movie.
Same.
Yeah. I think I love Kills and Ends, both of them. Like I loved Ends did something different, and I really appreciated that. I loved it, but it's not the best place to put that at the very end. So I think if you had swapped Kills and Ends, if the middle movie had been the do something different movie, and then the last one been just Michael on a murder spree, I think people would have appreciated that trilogy a lot more.
You know what's funny?
I still say for me, and again, sorry, James, we've talked about this, but I still say for me that the second one, they lent really heavily into the end scene of him being now a supernatural character. In fact, they literally say, you know, evil can't die, and you see him he's killed, and then he gets back up. And I loved that. I thought, this is a new take. The next film, he's a hobo living in a sewer who kind of do anything. It's like, well, what happened there then? Why did he suddenly? Do you know? It just feels like it was a totally different film to me.
He had a long night. He was tired.
Yeah.
Well, he got pretty badly banged up at the end.
Did get banged up.
So like 4 years later, yeah.
You know, it's funny. So Dr. Van Hoot, like, he kind of described Kills in the way I think of it. I don't think it was a good film, like, objectively. It's fun. I don't think it's great. It's fun because you get a lot of fun kills in it.
Yeah.
Granted, sometimes it kind of felt like a little bit of a parody at times when watching it, especially with the mob scene and hearing "Evil Dies Tonight," 50 times in that movie.
Yeah.
But 2018 is brilliant, man. Like 2018, you said it yourself, James. Like, and I agree with it. Like, it's up there with like the 78 one for me.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
The ending for that could have been the ending for the trilogy, in my head.
I also think people who say like Ends is the worst are just being hyperbolic because there's been some shit Halloween movies. Like I would still rank any of those 3 movies above most of that franchise. You know, outside of probably the original second movie, 4 maybe, and H2O probably. Like the rest of them are shit. So like I put Ends way above any of them.
Yeah. Favorite kill in those latest 3, mind, I have to say, was the fluorescent tube. I love the fluorescent tube.
Not a kill. She survives. She's
she survives. Yeah, but I thought that was
an injury.
superb.
Yeah, that was great. Nasty.
Okay, so what do you guys think about Rob Zombie's Halloween films relative to like these?
First one, yes. Second one,
again, second one did something different, which was
it did something really different. Yeah.
Apparently, so like I think it was Rob Zombie. He did an interview basically saying like he didn't want to do a sequel, but like he was forced to contractually.
Oh, studio
that.
His hands tied. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it on my own terms.
Definitely the scariest, Michael. Like, that's shit yourself. Terrifying.
Yeah, Tyler Mane's a big dude.
Yeah, he's huge. He's a big man.
Wasn't that like Tyler Mane?
Tyler Mane. Yeah.
Sabretooth.
Yeah.
I just think they're sort of like unnecessarily crude and dirty. I guess, which I don't like. I like that 70s aesthetic. I just think like having a hillbilly Michael Myers kind of thing is
I like the
that's why I don't like about I don't like that about
Michael.
Rob Zombie's movies in general. I think
Yeah, so James, that's kind of what I was referring to, like in the '78 one. Like they don't really rely on the nudity, the blood, or any of that. It's just pure storytelling, tension, the score. Rob Zombie for sure leans into the gore, in the gratuitous blood and the cussing and whatnot. But what were you gonna say, GP? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna quickly jump back in the chat there. Sif saying there, eat a bag of ticks. No, you eat a bag of ticks. It's in joke. Dave Clark saying H2O was big when it came out. First Halloween movie I saw. Yeah, it was really big when it first came out.
It's very Scream-esque though.
Definitely, Fuzzy saying I've seen them on Busta Rhymes. God, that's your first experience,
that's the only
mate.
one you've seen. That's cool.
It gets better from there, Fuzzy. It gets better from there.
Yeah. Dr. Von Hoot loves walking around on his patrols at night, listening to the score of Halloween. Yeah,
he's flying around the coop, is it?
It must be, yes. Around the nest. Click the choice says he still needs to watch this one. Dr. Von Hoot saying iconic dialogue from Dr. Loomis. Absolutely. Dave saying there, I like as much gratuitous nudity as possible. Female, that is. Absolutely. Does CCTV school? Still pretty spooky listening to that soundtrack while sitting in a little room.
A lot of horror movies take place in schools.
Absolutely.
I'm just thinking of Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing.
Shooty guard. 2018 is excellent, probably the best sequel.
The best sequel, easily, I think.
Dr. saying there, kills are objectively not.
That's not how the word objectively works, Von Hoosh. Okay, like it's your opinion that it's not a good movie. It's a great movie, I think. My opinion.
Sean saying Halloween Ends, apart from the end deaths, was terrible. Nearly walked out the cinema.
Oof. I can understand why people think that, though, for sure.
Doc saying he's only seen Ends once, but it was pretty interesting, puzzling. Fuzzy saying I can't take any more of a surname Zombies too, so you're not having it.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's it's a stage name though. The doc saying the directors could have Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is much better film than the theatrical, but it's a mistake. I've heard it is supposed to be pretty good. The directors could
quite a bit better.
Yeah, the rape scene in Rob Zombies is absolutely unforgivable. Yeah. And we're all caught up. Anybody else want to add anything about Halloween?
Just tremendous. Just amazing movie.
Yeah. Because James and Austin both pick Halloween, Austin also sent me a list of movies, so I picked one off for him to talk about. And
I've not seen
The House of October Built. I've actually not seen this one either.
So,
do you want to let us know about this one?
Yeah. So I chose Houses October Built and Haunt. So House October Built, I think, is a great October movie. Granted, you can watch any time of the year. You know, we're all horror buffs, so like, I'm sure, you know, just like me, you guys watch these throughout the year regardless.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is really fitting for October because haunted houses. You know, this has that Halloween feel because it's taking place during Halloween spooky time. You know, so essentially a group of people who are trying to find the most outrageous and scariest haunted houses there are. You know, I'm sure just like you guys, like myself, you know, I want to go to a haunted house and I want to feel scared, right? Granted, the hard thing is, you know, it's real. So, you know, you kind of have that in the back of your head, but you still want to be scared. You still want to have that tension and that build up walking into the room of like what's going to happen. So there's murmurings that there is an extreme haunted house experience where essentially they can touch you, they can grab you, and it's supposed to make it feel real. But it may be more real than they expect. That's kind of like the premise of this movie.
I think I have seen this.
And it's like in a found footage kind of
sounds
kind of
right.
Yeah.
So it's fun as hell. It's one of those like I would really recommend like if you have a night where you and your mates are gonna go out to some haunted houses and whatnot, for sure play this first. Because then, you know, when you go into the next haunted house, you're thinking in your head like, what's in that next room, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Or like what kind of person is actually volunteering or getting paid to work this haunted house. So
yeah, it definitely sounds interesting, mate. Just quickly jump in the chat. Still want to say hello to Christina Cooper. Welcome. She said never seen it. I'm getting into horror. Saw Scream for the first time a couple of days ago.
To go back and watch Scream for the first time again. Oh, imagine.
Yeah.
Oh man, Christian, let us know in the comments what you thought of Scream.
Dr. Von Hoot saying they're interested. Not heard of this one. Yeah, it definitely sounds interesting. This looks like a film you'd buy in a petrol station.
It does really, doesn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's really all the best one, isn't it? Yeah.
But I think you mean gas station.
Oh, Doc said all the best films are fuzzy. Absolutely. Joey saying there, found footage is my guilty pleasure.
Actually, I'm not a fan of found footage ones, I have to say.
If it's done,
I'm
done
not
well,
the biggest fan of them.
There's some great ones.
Oh man, I love some found footage.
There's some fantastic ones, I think.
Quarantine, Cloverfield.
I like Quarantine, yeah.
Last Exorcism?
You know, I actually really like that one a lot.
Yeah, I love that one.
A lot.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that
not
one,
even just for a found footage. Like, that's a great flick within itself.
Yeah.
And I don't really even like paranormal movies like that, but that one's brilliant.
Right, yeah. Christian just saying here, he liked it. Scream, I think he's on about there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, knew who the killers were before, which is a bit of a bummer.
It's so ingrained in pop culture, I think.
Yeah.
It really is, yeah. Saying here now. I think the next one I want to watch is Halloween, but don't know where to watch it.
It's on Netflix if you're in the UK. US, I'm not sure.
Yeah. If you get Shudder, I think it'll be on Shudder.
I don't think it'd be on Shudder. It'd be too big. I had Shudder for a year and didn't watch a single fucking thing because it was all shit movies on it.
Really? Everybody hypes up Shudder.
What?
Sorry, Austin?
I was say everybody hypes up Shudder like it's like the thing to rent, and I've never gone on there.
You'd be lucky to find a movie you've heard of on it. Like it's just all. Which I mean, if that's your thing to just check out other unusual movies, yeah, it's the internet equivalent of a petrol station DVD section. I think So
does have Fulci on there though? To be fair,
Does that what?
Have Fulci movies on there. It does have Fulci movies on.
I don't know what
Fulci?
you're saying, JP.
Yeah, I
What's
don't know what you're
what's
saying. Fulci?
Fulci?
You don't know who Fulci is?
I don't think so.
He's
Who's
an
Fulci?
Italian horror director.
Oh yeah.
Lucio Fulci.
Oh right, okay.
Did a zombie and he had the Gates of Hell trilogy.
Nice.
So I think they're on there. Collector Joyce is saying there. Last Exorcism was great. Doc's just agreeing with you there. Nah, loads of great stuff on Shudder now.
Literally a whole year I paid for it, and I didn't watch a single thing. Nothing I wanted to watch on it.
Yeah,
I think It Follows was on it for a little bit.
Hey, Connie.
Other than that. Hey, Connie.
Yeah.
Hey, Connie.
Yeah. I said they do have good documentaries on there, to be fair. We've got the Friday the 13th one on, and In Search of Darkness, which is all about 80s horror movies, about 5 hours each.
Austin, if you never watched it, I was supposed to mention this earlier when we were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Never Sleep Again. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, it's been a few years. That's
my favorite
one,
documentary. Though. It's phenomenal.
That is fantastic, and it's long too, which I appreciate.
It's 4.5 hours. Or something. I remember I used to watch that. I watched it one morning with like a bowl of cereal and just watched it for like the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like,
Big bowl of cereal, 4.5 hours.
Milk was spoiled by the end.
As you say, I'm bringing the culture, whatever next. The Sif saying, show these boys zombie flesh eaters, absolutely. Christian saying, do you guys like the Jordan Peele horror movies? Not at all. I don't like Jordan Peele movies.
So I actually really liked Get Out. Us was interesting, but there's so many holes in it. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. You kind of have to keep a really open mind with that one. And then
Nope is utter
that
shit.
was trash. I
What?
Nope was I didn't like Nope. That was hard. That was a hard watch.
I think Get Out is a staple horror movie now. It's one of the best.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you, James. I really liked Get Out. I thought Get Out was
I think I absolutely 100% every word you said agree with on Us. I think some really interesting stuff, some good stuff in it. But like,
Us is fun.
Strange.
Us is fun if you have an open mind and want to have a conversation afterwards. Of like,
I was disappointed though. I went in expecting more. I was a bit let down leaving it. And then Nope, I just thought had some really clever twists and turns that I wasn't expecting, and some of the sequences were good.
He also produced Candyman, the remake.
Yeah, he did the Twilight Zone as well, didn't he? He did. Some of the episodes in that were pretty good.
Yeah, I liked Candyman. I thought that was good. I was never like a massive Candyman fan, so I don't know if I have the most righted opinion, but the remake was okay. I appreciate it. Look, this actually may be. I feel like I'm in the minority of this one. I like the Hellraiser.
Yeah,
remake.
I've not seen it yet.
Really enjoyed it. I watched it again the other day, and it's really good.
So I want to rewatch it again, GP. It lacked leather and chains a little bit, but it's fun. It's
a fun movie. Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for it being like a Hulu release. Like it was.
I know they did an amazing job on it. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, so it was funny. I had like 13 Ghost flashbacks when watching it.
Yeah. When in the mansion.
Yeah.
That's a classic. 13 Ghosts. I love that one.
That's a fun entry level horror movie, huh?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Moving on. This is my pick for favorite, The Thing. Absolutely love this movie.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, still stands up today. Wasn't keen on the prequel that they did. I think it was 2011.
I like it. Underrated, I think.
Yeah, it was good for what it was. Wasn't too keen on the CG in it.
They did everything practically, and then the studio executive made them CG over it.
Yeah, I heard that.
There's some amazing behind the scenes
weird
stuff.
choice.
Yeah, bizarre. Like.
Yeah, really bizarre, especially when the practical effects still hold up today.
Yeah,
absolutely
fantastic.
Yeah. What have we got next? Oh yeah, so if you like The Thing, go and check out The Void. This is absolutely.
I've not seen this one.
I don't know this one.
Wait, can I say one thing about The Thing? That's also one of those movies where like the ending is brilliant. This is one of those movies where it doesn't just end and then it's over. Like it ends and then you can have a conversation with your mate right after. Like, well,
absolutely.
Reedy, you know, like,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts? Who's who? What do you think's going to happen next? That's fun.
There's a sequel video game as well, which I loved playing. Oh, it's
The
an
risk, mate,
incredible game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
like
that.
you have like your teammates, and you have to test them regularly. You don't know who's going to be the thing or not. It's,
I think I had that on the PlayStation.
PS2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible game. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Void is absolutely Bing-esque, Lovecraftian hell. Absolutely brilliant. They're actually trapped in a hospital for this, and the people start transforming. So it's a really good take on it. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out.
This is one of those movies actually I remember seeing at like the video store as a kid. Like I remember seeing this cover art. I don't think I've actually ever seen the flick though.
No,
Yeah. Definitely worth watching. Sean's just in there. The Thing is the goat. Dr. Bonhood. The Thing is up there with Halloween. Absolutely, mate.
I think so. Yeah.
Joey saying, love The Thing. Prequel leads in the next one. Absolutely.
Yeah, it connects so well. I think.
Yeah, Dr. Bonhood. The Void is a tremendous throwback. Reminds me of Prince of Darkness. It does a bit me. Yeah.
So John
absolutely.
Carpenter's my favorite director, but I've never seen Prince of. There's a handful of them I've not.
Have
seen.
you never seen Prince of Darkness?
In the Mountain of Madness and Prince of Darkness, I've never seen. I have Princess. I watched. I'd seen it before, but years ago. But I watched They Live again last night for the first time.
Oh, I love
Brilliant.
Not for the first
I
time,
need
but,
to
like,
rewatch that.
Rewatching. Fucking incredible. Like
It is.
I mean, it's just so
really good.
fucking good. So I'll stick on Prince of Darkness now after we finish this.
Absolutely,
I'll
man.
get that one out
It's
of the way
brilliant
as well.
film.
Yeah.
We're joined by my dad, Past Point Comics. How are you doing, everyone?
Dang it!
Yeah,
Dang
Frank.
it. So yeah, we'll go. Next one is picks for Halloween. Pete.
This is probably the first horror film that freaked me out. And I remember watching it probably when I was far too young. And I loved everything about it. I watched it, and there's a part at the end where you kind of think it's all finished. And my mother tried to tell us, that's the film finished, you can just switch it off now, switch it off. Just before the kind of the pool scene and the skeletons and everything.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because she knew I would be freaked out by it. There are some amazing scares in it, I think. There's some great special effects. Some proper good kind of horror tropes. But the thing that's freaked us out and stayed with us all this time is the scene where the guy's eating the chicken leg or something in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's filled with maggots. And then he scratches his face and all the maggots come out of his face and things like that. I've never been maggots freak us out now because of that. It scares the hell out of us.
That's 2 bits at the top there, Pete.
Yeah, it's just fucking awful. Honestly, it's horrific. I just think it's a great movie. Again, another classic for me. I think it's one of those kind of early, real staple horror films that I think
absolutely
are just brilliant. Yeah.
What do you think of the remake?
Have I seen the remake? I've seen 2 and 3 of Poltergeist when they're in the tower. Yeah,
the
I'm
remake.
not sure.
Sam Rockwell in.
All right, I'm not sure if I've seen.
I
the
have
remake
seen that.
Yeah.
I thought the remake was decent. Like,
Yeah, I've seen the remake. I haven't seen the sequels though.
Sequels are awful. Oh, they're awful. The original sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the second one that with the Native American.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The fellow in that, the religious fellow in that, though, was creepy as hell.
Was he the one with the black hat? Was that?
Yeah.
Terrible teeth, Caroline. Yeah, it's just awful. Yeah.
I have to give this I haven't watched this since I was really young, so I have to give this
And there's something as well, because again, James, you're probably too young, and Austin, yourself as well. TVs don't do that anymore. You know, back in my youth, GPs, you would have that static because TV ended at midnight or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
We didn't have hundreds of channels. The creepy girl.
Yeah, the creepy girl and the doll. Yeah, the Annabelle doll. And then you'd get static like that. So this was kind of, you could see this at home, you know, and it plays into the paranormal stuff because I love stuff like white noise. Yeah, Annabelle. Yeah. It plays into the whole white noise concept. You know, the spirits and I just think it's great. I think it's great.
Just jumping in the chat there, Christian said, I think it's the first horror movie he's ever seen. Brilliant. Efren saying, love Poltergeist, didn't freak me out at all. I don't believe that, Efren.
Don't believe you, Efren.
Yeah. Bono saying, also wonderful, it's almost a family horror movie. Absolutely, mate. He's saying the remake is unremakeable. Or unremarkable. I can't read. Efren, in the US when the TV ended, it would have the US flag.
Of course it would. Of course it would, Efren. Yeah. And
America.
guns. Yeehaw! Yeah.
Eagles flying all over.
Yeah.
James, Trick or Treat for your
It's the
Halloween pick.
wrong Trick or Treat, man.
What? Not this 1980s classic of a
No,
rock horror.
no, the 2007.
no, it's this one.
Yeah,
this
there you
one.
go. Are you
Go
tricks me?
back to that
I
last
gotta-
one, bud. That one did it for us.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know
That's,
this.
is that a man or a woman?
That's
This
a
is
man.
It doesn't do it for us. It doesn't do it.
This was a 1980s like a metal rock horror
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
Never
I'm sure
heard of that
Ozzy
one.
Osbourne turned up in it. Yeah. So
Like-
Trick or Treat, James.
I got
Never seen this. Never seen it.
I
You've
almost
never
did
seen
this.
it, Pete?
I was actually going to suggest maybe this for I'll Be Right Back for the Halloween one, but
Yeah, let's do this because I've never
do
seen
that.
it. I've heard great
I
things
can-
about it.
All right, well, we can do that. I could name a few other the horror movies that I like more or would watch on Halloween more often. Like
Yeah,
I only recently seen this, but this for watching on Halloween, this is the fucking perfect movie. So it's basically like
Absolutely.
a series of kind of vignettes, like maybe 5 stories, and they all take place in this town on Halloween night, and they kind of like weave into each other in unexpected ways. Like kind of Sam, who's the little kind of kid, kind of is like a constant of them.
Yeah.
But like, there's things like one character will walk past a character from 2
Yeah, that's
stories
right.
ago, you know, like, and bump into
Okay.
them on the street and things like that. And just, it's so clever. It's just really, really fun. I saw this last year for the first time in the cinema, and I
Yeah.
just thought it was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, there's like, I don't even want to say too much because Peter hasn't seen it, but there's like some are sort of supernatural and some are more kind of grounded, and it's just, I think, the perfect movie to watch on
So
Halloween.
James, the great thing, I think you summed it up perfectly. Yeah, all these stories, you know, they are interwoven. The cool thing about this is,
Yeah.
I feel like the more times I watch it, I pick up on little things,
Yeah.
like little links between the stories, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Also, for me, there's like this sentiment towards this movie where like this was the first movie that Rachel and I watched together. So like the first time we had a movie night, she let me pick it out, and I picked Trick or Treat. So like this is like, not only do I love this movie, but now it's like a staple because of
Yeah.
like the relationship too. So
It's definitely what I like to watch every Halloween. It's got Anna Paquin in it, so
It does. Yeah.
win-win. Yeah. Just jump in the chat here. Joey saying just watch Trick or Treat first time. It's great, absolutely. Dr. Van Hoot saying Trick or Treat is good fun, brilliant. Fuzzy, never seen it. GP, can't believe it. And one of the better anthologies, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, it's fantastic.
It's fun. Just one of the most fun horror movies.
It really
Just
is a
pure-
fun horror,
it's
yeah.
So fun to watch. Like, yeah, it's
It really is, mate.
Yeah.
And it's one of those horror movies that gives you those Halloween vibes,
Okay.
Yes.
which is fantastic.
Dave Klex is saying
Brian Cox as well. It's great in it.
Yeah, Brian Cox is in
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I like Brian Cox.
Absolutely brilliant. Dave Klex saying that's why I have been really into the Fargo series on Hulu. All the stories connect in the same way. Still haven't watched Fargo yet. So,
Great show.
yeah. So, Austin, this was your pick, the Halloween watch. We've already
Yes.
discussed it. So-
Yeah, so, you know, I know we talked about this, but, you know, I have such a soft spot for this movie. I think it's brilliant. I've
Yeah.
kind of said it already. You know, I watched Halloween as a kid, like the 78 and the sequels, and I just didn't appreciate them as much because, like, some other, like, scary movies kind of stood out quite a bit more
Mhm.
for me. But, like, this is what made me really go back and watch the 78 one and appreciate it. This is kind of like what made Michael really scary for me, just because he's a brute in this, you know. Tyler Mane plays him. He's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
He's a massive human being. Probably the most brutal Michael Myers there is. A lot of blood, lots of kill scenes. It is extremely intense though in a lot of ways that kind of turns people off.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, sure, but yeah, for me, this is a great movie. I love it.
Brilliant. This is my pick, Halloween 3. Absolutely love this movie. It's definitely underrated. It's getting quite a big following nowadays. I've liked this since I was a kid. Yeah. Have you all three you seen Halloween 3?
Long
Oh,
time
yeah.
ago. Yeah, a long time
Yeah.
ago.
It's a fun watch. When I first watched it, I actually enjoyed it, but I understand some like the criticism that people had. You know, when
Yeah,
this-
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's fun, man. For once again, it kind of gives you those Halloween feels, those Halloween vibes, and that's kind of a perfect movie for this time of month or time of year.
Absolutely, just killing kids off in general. This movie.
Yeah, this movie is very pro-choice. Movie is very pro-choice.
Yeah.
Definitely. The best lip job ever seen. Go wrong.
In the soundtrack, the whole Silver Shamrock thing, that's fun.
Yeah.
Really. Well, that was Carpenter's.
Halloween.
So Carpenter's big thing for the Halloween franchise was to have a different sort of movie every time.
So it was originally supposed to be an anthology, and then the studio insisted do one more Michael movie, so he did. He didn't. He wrote it at least.
Yeah.
And then they just couldn't go back. They did this, and people didn't like it at the time.
They didn't. They just wanted more Michael.
You're absolutely right, though. It's great. Like, I only watched this for the first time a year or two ago, and it's shot at I just love it. Like, I just think it's phenomenal. Like, it's so hokey. It's such a weird idea, and you have Tom Atkins starring in it, who's just like this drunk all the way selfish asshole guy, who's supposed to be the hero. It's just there's this weird Irish villain, and they have Stonehenge at the end, and there's lasers. It's like, what the fuck is happening in this thing? Yeah, but I just think, and it is. It's surprisingly violent. There's a bit where a robot guy pulls a guy's head off. And it's dark. The kid's getting killed. It's just not what you. It kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh wow, that's really shocking, And then there's such an iconic ending. The stop it. You know, it's great. Apparently, because the Halloween lights are being shopped around at the moment. A follow up to this is one of the things that the producer wants to do, and I think we're talking about this on last week, but I think modern day with a viral video or something like that, you could do a really clever new version of that. So I'd love to see it, get Tom Atkins back maybe. I think that'd be awesome to see. I'd really.
Yes, had the mustache.
Yeah, absolutely. Just jumping in back in the chat here, we've got Dr. Von Hood. I've seen Halloween 3 once. And bloody doesn't everybody?
Silver Shamrock.
That's it. That's what's coming up next week. I'll remove that. And that's been our horror movie hangout. Very cool. So
wait,
anybody? Yes,
sorry. I just had one more question for you guys. Have you guys seen Haunt?
Haunt?
Don't think so.
Okay, definitely add that to your list, because once again, it kind of takes place during Halloween. Haunted houses are involved, sort of similar to the house that October built, where they go inside of a haunted house, and it's quite a bit more than they expect. And it's a fun watch, and it's on Hulu.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Check that out.
Any more recommendations before we go, lads?
Name horror movies like House Come Home, The Fog. I think this is another classic
horror movie. Another Tom Atkins one as well.
Another Tom Atkins and another John Carpenter. So there's a running theme there going.
Stuff at the cinema at the moment. Saw X was good. The Nun 2 was good. Enjoyed those.
I need to see Saw X. That's on the list. We're gonna watch.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
I actually love American Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
I need to rewatch it. I saw it as a kid.
Never seen American Werewolf?
No,
Dog Soldiers. If you want a proper werewolf film, watch Dog Soldiers.
Is great.
Have you seen that one?
I've never seen Dog Soldiers, but people, I know the name so well because people always say that, one of the best werewolf movies.
Brilliant.
The thing about American Werewolf in London, when I was a kid, we had it on VHS, and I always wanted to watch it. I was always big into werewolves. My mum said, "I'll tell you what, if you can watch it all the way through, you can keep watching it." I got the transformation scene, and I was like, eject.
It's pretty rough.
That's a clever, okay, you can watch this horror movie, but you can't look away. So if you look away, it's turning off. Okay, that's a good way of getting them in it.
What a childhood. But anyway, that's been the show for tonight. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Anything coming up, James Pete?
Yeah, we're I'm gonna focus in on One Good Scare Show. So that's our new horror channel. We did a live stream the other day. Our Saw X reviews kind of gone up standalone, edited together.
Yeah.
Up on the channel. A couple shorts as well. And then this Friday, we have our kind of debut episode of our kind of retrospective series called I'll Be Right Back, where we kind of look at a horror movie. So we're doing Friday the 13th this week.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, it's
my favorite franchise.
It was good fun,
My favorite franchise.
Yeah.
Are you just going live with that one? Or
No. So that's going to edit it together. Like, we're not even on camera for it. It's just us talking and kind of clips of the movie and stuff. Brilliant. Fun conversation. So yeah, that'll be up on Friday.
Nice one. Pete, coming. Stuff?
Yeah, I've got all kinds of stuff. So I've just gone live with my Gentleman of Crime Penguin from Batman Returns figure, being pulled to bits on YouTube. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if you've got that one, Austin, or not, but I think it's fairly sound.
No, but just like you said, I've been seeing a lot of criticisms.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm live on the Killer Comic Show on Thursday night, Friday night. I'm with Efren, and we're doing our review of next month's comic books. Brilliant. Saturday we'll be doing Saturday Night Live. I'm off Sunday, which is nice. And then Monday we're doing our top 3 Marvel stories, myself, Efren, and James. So loads going on, comic videos and toy videos coming out.
Yeah. Austin, any videos coming up, mate?
Yeah, so nothing as exciting as these guys. I'm still trying to dip my toes into YouTube and trying to find my own placing and trying to figure out what I enjoy doing. I will have a video out this weekend, but it's more of like a vlog kind of thing. It'll have like an unboxing, kind of showing some of the things I've opened up the past week or so. Instagram's kind of like my primary social media, and each week I unbox like a new 6-scale figure or whatnot. Yeah. Kind of posted on there, but yeah, hopefully getting a bit more into the YouTube thing. So
yeah, absolutely brilliant. Everybody's link will be in the description after this ends. Like I said, next week I'll be joined by Pete. I think James, you jumping on this one as well?
I think I'm working in the evening. It depends on what time I get home, so I'll read it and be ready to go if
nice.
If I can,
yeah, we're going to be reviewing Need a Horse Nightmare Blog Volume 1 from Rodney Barnes and that Philadelphia world, which is absolutely brilliant.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Efren's is saying there this Friday.
Just said that, Efren. Did you fall asleep? What's the matter with you? I've just literally said that, man. He's hiding under the bed again, isn't he?
That's what it is. It's way too scary for him. God bless him. That's been our stream for the day. Like I said, if you just enjoyed it, let us know by hitting that thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribe, and leave a comment. It'd be brilliant to see. Till next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.